Hello. My name is Callista, and welcome back to When the Night Comes. In the last episode, we defeated the creature, and then Camille promptly blacked out. Oh dear. Now, someone is speaking to us, however, to me at least, it sounded like Harry. That was my initial thought. I'm gonna go back so that the voice clip will play again. Everything goes black.
Hunter?
There we go, yes. Yeah, I swear down that's Harry.
Hunter, snap out of it.
That has to be Harry. I coax myself out of my little daze, finding kind blue eyes staring at me. Unamused, kind blue eyes.
Are you quite finished daydreaming?
Hello! James! Hi there! Oh, and you don't have your scar yet, okay. And they're not married either. The wedding ring is missing, okay. Flashback time! I smile at him because as much as Harry tries to be annoyed with me, he's adorable when he's angry. Oh, I was doing a voice for him, but it's us, so I should use my voice, but no, I'll try and do a voice. I am Major Addington. Very sorry, sir. There's that little mouth twitch, an attempt to stifle a smile. I know him too well. And as humble as I try to be, Harold Addington III cannot resist me.
Stop that!
Never! Stop what? I'm not doing anything. He sighs, loud, pitiful. Oh, he's blushing!
Yes, you are. You're looking at me like that.
I don't want Harry to be the twist villain. I don't want Harry to be the twist villain at all, but I think he is.
How many times do I have to remind you that I'm your superior, Hunter Lane?
I feign contemplation, just twisting the knife a little more, making him squirm. Oh, maybe a few more times might do the trick. We both laugh when he swats my arm, but Harry is quick to straighten himself up. Ever the professional.
I have an assignment, something out of town. It might take us a few days if we're lucky.
He looks at the papers that have been deposited on his desk. A pretty sizable pile for a simple missive by the look of it. A little getaway. Just the two of us. Harry rolls his eyes, scoffing.
If you consider hunting a rogue clan of witches romantic.
Why not? Why not? That sounds plenty romantic to me. Then he looks at me, eyes narrowed.
You do, don't you?
Hey! I'm with you, James! I'm with you! I shrug, stepping forward to push the papers from beneath his fingertips. I rest my hand upon his waist, crowding close until he has no choice but to sit upon the surface of his desk. Any time spent alone with you is time that I cherish, my love. The flush that sweeps across his cheeks is charming, as always, and when I lean in to brush his lips with my own, gone is the stiff formality of Enforcer General Addington, and in its place is the man that I love. My partner in all things. My soulmate. We're both in need of some time away from here, don't you think? Even if it does involve us being knee-deep in angry witches.
Sweet talk me some more, please. I don't know how I ever resisted you.
I raise an accusatory brow. You didn't. He huffs quietly, but my statement is irrefutable.
So smug.
I like James. Oh, and he's dead. That... like, James has been in this story, like, since the beginning, pretty much. We haven't really heard much from him lately, but, like, he's always been there, and now we're properly getting to meet him, and then eventually we're gonna have to go back to Camille, and it'll be like, oh yeah, he died. Oh. Unconsciously, we both cast the door a glance. It's closed, and I lean in to lose myself in his kiss once again. They say that nothing lasts forever, but all that felt like to me was a lie told by people who never truly found love like I did. I knew that Harry was special when I first met him. We found a connection immediately, only to have it torn asunder when he failed the initiation. But even with an ocean between us, both of us sent on such different paths, we still found our way back to one another. 5 years, 10 years, 15. A partnership forged out of love, trust, and strength. We were unstoppable. I'd do anything for Harry, but in the end, that's why it all began to go wrong. You shouldn't leave, not right now. Your people need you. I need you.
I have little choice. Such meetings cannot be postponed. Do not pull the I need you card. Things are under control now, James. Besides, it's just a few days. I shall be back before you know it.
Oh, this is right before he died. Because he has the scar now. He's got the wedding ring, that streak of silver. Oh, no. I really like James. I don't want to see him die. His smile is as bright as it's always been, but it doesn't reach his eyes. They are cold and tired. In a way, I can't help but blame myself for Harry's recent boldness. I've always encouraged him to think outside the box, to stop being so rigid when it comes to following the rules. And now... Please, Harry, this has to stop. He averts his gaze, twisting his wedding band nervously. I know you think you're doing the right thing, but it's not worth it. None of this is worth it. I step closer, taking both of his hands in my own and tugging at him to look at me. He refuses, still staring longingly out of the window. I love you too much to let this destroy you. Think of everything you've achieved. Would you throw all that away just to make some numbers look good?
It's not about numbers, and you know it. It is about saving people's lives, about stopping those things from overwhelming us until we're nothing but...
He pauses, closes his eyes. Then he carefully pries his hands away from mine.
It's about doing what I swore to do, fulfilling my duty as protector of this country, protecting you.
What did I say? What? He couldn't figure out a reason why Lunaris had suddenly been inundated with monsters. And so he decided to make his own monsters better monsters than the ones they've been using for the longest time. I can protect myself. Harry flinches at my words, exhaling sharply.
We will discuss this further upon my return, but I must go. The carriage will be waiting for me.
Do not share this, Harry. You're further away from perfecting it than you think, and you know it. Perfecting the formula, ritual, whatever it is that's turning hunters into monsters. So some people in the agency know. James knows, at least. At that, he smiles, shaking his head. He steps close to cup his hand to my jaw.
You've always underestimated me, my love.
I don't think he is, Harry. I don't think he is. He kisses me, and something about the way he does so makes me believe it's for the last time. After Harry's departure, I sat at our kitchen table and wrote him a letter before my nightly patrol. I knew it wouldn't make it to him before his meeting. In fact, I wasn't even going to send it, I just had a feeling. My dearest Harry, as much as I'd love to muse about how I long for you to return, to lay with me in our bed, I'm afraid this letter comes with a less light-hearted message. I'm worried. These experiments are troubling me, and I've been unable to sleep soundly since you showed me last week. I fear something terrible will happen that we won't be able to hide, that you won't be able to recover from. Is this really what they cursed all of us with all these years ago? I always knew we were different, that something within us made us stronger, but... Children, Harry, we were children! Think about that before you continue with this. Think about their intentions and why no one has attempted this before. I'll be leaving for a hunt this evening, missing you every step of the way, my power dulled without you standing strong by my side. All I ask of you is that you slow down. Perfect things before you dare to implement your plan. I'm not sure how much longer I can sit back and watch, just waiting for it to all go wrong. I love you, and I just want my husband back. We can make it through anything as long as we have each other. Always yours, James. The graveyard is peaceful. The air is cool and the sky clear. The crunch of gravel under my boots is strangely comforting, and I feel a sense of calm washing over me as I stop in front of a newly placed headstone. I crouch down, tracing the carved letters with my fingertips. James Addington Lane, brave hunter, loving husband, cherished friend. Oh, who is this? This has to be either James or Camille. Here's the thing, I'm pretty sure this is all... Flashback was the wrong word for it. It's like, it's James showing us his final moments. So that's kind of why I'm like, who's saying they haven't seen this yet? Muffled voice. When in doubt, muffled voice. I haven't seen this yet. I stand, my vision blurring. There's a searing yet familiar pain in my temple as I turn and see a tall figure before me, silhouetted by bright moonlight. They would put the hunter part first, wouldn't they? James steps closer, standing by my side and sparing his grave a glance. The second you become a hunter, it trumps everything else. You're not even really considered a human first anymore. Am I dead? I look at James, studying his features, registering that he's here. Flesh and bone and alive? Or... am I dead? He shakes his head. No, but you're somewhere in between. Just like me. Just like you? I look down and press my hand over my ribs, and it comes away crimson. My armour is jagged and torn, my clothes saturated with blood. When I look back at James, his brow is furrowed and I see a shadow emerging from the blackened tree line behind him. A familiar sight, lumbering, misshapen, not human. It's behind you. My words are monotone, though I intend for them to be a warning. My throat feels tight, and once again I'm stuck where I stand. He shakes his head, ignoring the looming threat, his dark eyes focused on me and me alone. It's not real. You killed him, after all. Azazel. Him, singular. That means there's more than one. There's at least Aya out there. Oh, God. Him? You simply did what I couldn't. What I should have done. I froze. I was too afraid to hurt someone I knew. As a hunter, you know you cannot hesitate, cannot second guess. If you do, people die. He's right. They teach us to be ruthless in our decisions. If it can kill you, you kill it first. It thralled me. I thought that was how it got you. He shakes his head. I saw... He pauses, mouth agape as if he wants to say it, but something stops him. You saved them, Camille, though your job isn't done just yet. I stare at him blankly, trying to comprehend where I am, why he's here, just everything. What did they do to us? He simply smiles. It's somber, almost pained. It's easier if I show you. Hello! A background we haven't seen before. I like this. I like the lighting, because it's almost painful. It's super saturated, is that the word I'm looking for? But like I said, you look at this and you think, oh, it's like a happy scene, but the lighting is so bright. It's kind of unpleasant. I like this. I stare up at the familiar building that are now before me. That's bad grammar. I stare up at the familiar buildings that are now before me, a bitter taste blooming upon my tongue. I grew up here, learned how to kill here, how to survive. They promised us the world, said we'd be heroes. As a naive child, I might have even believed them, and yet... in reality, we're nothing but pawns. Feels different now, doesn't it? I was so excited to be chosen. Most of us are. They make it feel like passing the initiation is some kind of coveted honor. If not an honor, then what? James looks down at his hands, turning his palms skyward. I see scars, not unlike the ones that cover my own skin, and he looks back up. A curse. Ooh. I have so many good options for thumbnails. Suddenly the sky turns an inky black. The moon is full, hanging low, and the stars are sparse but bright. With a heavy sigh, James turns to me. Are you ready? Ready for what? To finally find out how hunters are really made. I think back to the comment Finn made the other day, smiling to myself. I heard that we grow on trees. James laughs. If only it were that simple, Camille. What do you remember of your initiation? I stare at him blankly. My memories are non-existent past waking up in my bed the next day. Feeling stronger, feeling different, feeling better. He tilts his head at me, smiling. As I suspected. They're very good at making you forget what they need to, aren't they? You would have been taken into the courtyard at night, right here where we stand. They would then have asked you to take your oath, to pledge yourself to the cause. A witch would have offered you a vial of something which they'd then expect you to ingest. It's the joining! It's the joining ritual! I was right! I looked down at my hand, something cold appearing in my palm. A vial, just as James said. The liquid inside is black, viscous and glowing. I remember, I think. They say those that fail experience a great discomfort, vomiting, convulsions, though it's still a mystery what makes us different from them. I uncork the vial, bringing the mixture to my nose. It smells bitter, like copper. I close my eyes, my heart pounding. Then the words roll off my tongue as if possessed. I swear that no night will be traversed in fear, that morning will be a promise and not a hope. I swear I shall lay down my life in the cause of my duty, to protect the vulnerable from the creatures of this realm and any beyond it. Until my final breath, I pledge myself to you, body, mind, and soul. Then I remember the way it tasted, the way it made me retch and fall to my knees. I dug my fingers into the dirt until they bled, my skin cracked and my nails split. It burned my throat and my body fought hard to reject it, but I lost. When I open my eyes, the vial is gone. Not dead, nor not of the living. Bind them and reveal to them the strength of ascension. We summon you to reach your wizened hands to them. Let them be the vessel that will carry us onward. It is written that this power is our right to wield. Give to their body what separates man from the vulnerability of the flesh. Be that which may push the boundaries of our mortal coil. The blood of the vampire, creatures of the night, consumer of life, impart your keen awareness and resilience, but not be shun of the light or endlessness of life. The blood of the Fae, tricksters incarnate, denizens between realms, impart your cunning and agile grace, but leave your weakness to the elements. The blood of the demon, purveyors of evil, guardians of the realm, impart your strength, but not your anger. The blood of the lichen, predators under the moon, beasts of instinct, impart your primal power, but not the madness within. Blood. Why does it always have to be fucking blood? 'Cause blood has power in mythos, that's why, Camille. That's why it's always blood. My hands shake, my breathing quickening, and James watches me with a concerned gaze as the realization washes over me. I'm just like them. We all are. The things that we were trained to kill are a part of us. They made us monsters. Vindication! The thing I've been saying this entire time! He nods, and I gather it's been a burden. Knowledge that he's carried for far too long. Fight fire with fire, as they say. A simple human wouldn't stand a chance against the beasts we face. The early hunters were true warriors who fought and died too quickly for us to stand a chance. An order was formed. People who had known of the creature's existence before the day of revelation. People who had befriended them, worshipped them, even. Again, There's been mention of this day of revelation before from what I can gather, because here's the thing, I'm going to be honest, I can't tell if When the Night Comes takes place on, if it's just, generic fantasy setting or if it's like an alternate universe Earth. But from what I can gather, you know, there was a time before people knew about monsters. Some people did, you know, because obviously secrets are never kept for long. Never. So some people knew about monsters, but the vast majority didn't. Then we have this day of revelation. I think there was some kind of war. I might be adding that fact in afterwards. I don't know. But maybe I'm saying that because I know that Lunaris and Escria is very militant, which to me would imply that, okay, they've gone to war at some point. They were a very warmongering state. I don't know, though. I want more information about the background of this world. I do find it very interesting. Destined. James steps into the house, shaking the rain off his coat and discarding his boots at the door. The fire roars in the hearth, a steaming cup of coffee waiting for him upon the table beside an open book, and he smiles, his heart fluttering in his ribs as he hears a quiet hum in the kitchen. He's been away for too long, always unnerved when on a mission without his partner by his side. It feels wrong to hunt alone, but he'll adjust if it means Harry is happy. Anything for Harry. He leans against the doorframe, watching him as he fusses with lighting the stove, the match he's trying to strike giving him grief. The scar upon his face has healed so beautifully in the years that have passed. A terrible reminder of a harrowing fight, but also one that proves how indomitable he is. Do you need a hand? Harry turns, his eyes wide, and James can't resist. He crosses the room in 2 strides, his arms winding around his waist as he lifts him and spins him once, twice. Eager lips pressed to the place where the scar disappears beneath the collar of his shirt. "You're home," says Harry, his hands cupping James's face as he settles him back upon the ground. He frowns at the sight of a new cut, inspecting the tiny thing that won't even scar upon the apple of his cheek, his thumb brushing over it tenderly. James curls his fingers around his wrists, kissing his palm, his gaze never leaving his lover's face. He focuses on the vivid blue of his eyes, golden flecks swirling at the edges, and there's never been anything even remotely boring about this man. "I missed you so much." His smile could brighten any room, and James is still so hopelessly in love that he cannot help the next words that fall so easily from his lips. "Marry me." He hears the unmissable hitch in Harry's breath, his eyes going wide as he stares up at him slack-jawed. "James, I mean it. I'm not joking around. We've been together for so long, we've been through so much. As we both grow older and our positions begin to drag us apart..." He trails off, shaking his head. "Be my husband, Harry." "You realise we're practically betrothed already, don't you, Hunter?" He grins, a teasing lilt to his voice, something that makes James's toes curl against the cold tile. "Is that a no? Are you rejecting me, Lieutenant?" He laughs, curling a lock of slowly greying golden hair around his finger. Harry doesn't respond with words, because the only way he could ever possibly convey how he feels in this moment is by catching his lips in a kiss. They break apart reluctantly, forehead to forehead. Harry's hand resting upon James's broad chest, feeling his heart beat beneath his fingers. Always so sure, so steady. "I will marry you." The smile that breaks out across James's face is nothing short of blinding, and the following embrace is tight enough to suffocate them both. "I've loved you forever, Harry Addington. Since the very moment I laid eyes on you again all those years ago, I knew we'd be together, exactly like this." Harry runs a finger over James's lips, looking at him so fondly as he remembers their years apart, and then the moment when they found one another again. as if it were written in the stars, as if they're destined. It was always meant to be, you and I. 20 years earlier. James fiddles with the violet sash, not quite knowing how to tie it. His fingers trembling as he gives up and stands as tall as he can with the nerves coursing through his veins. He's waited to wear it, longed to have it proudly slung across his person, and now he hears the click of shoes upon the tile outside the office door, taking a deep breath as the handle shakes. Then he feels his knees weaken, his heart beating so loudly it almost drowns out everything else that surrounds him. It can't be. His voice is like a dagger to the heart, just like James had always imagined as they grew older and he read his letters aloud, dreaming of his golden hair and kind smile. But he's so much better than he could ever have dreamed. James gathers his composure, unable to stop the brilliant grin that crosses his lips as Harry's eyes widen to an almost comical degree. He's 18. He's just graduated. He's expected to save the world, and he's been assigned to a boy he's been in love with ever since he was old enough to realize the letters they shared made his heart ache. Harry Addington. What are the chances, he says, thanking the heavens that his voice didn't shake. Harry flushes a charming pink as he steps forward, and James has never seen any enforcer look quite so comfortable in that gold and black uniform. Harry pauses, turning to close the door, running his hand through his hair, leaving it messy. They stand toe to toe, eyes roving one another's faces, trying to find words that simply turn to ash upon their tongues. They laugh, and somehow it's not awkward. Not one bit. Your letters kept me going, you know. Harry raises a brow, huffing a laugh, disbelieving, his fingers twitching at his side. As did yours for me. James bites his lip, trying to stop his smile from growing lest his cheeks ache. I was so angry they took you away, but it would appear that fate had us on its mind all along. Fate, Harry says quietly. Not a question, but a statement, clearly liking the way it sounds in his mouth. Yes, it would appear that it did. And the final letter, we did read this during the episode, so this is just how it looks. Very nice. You know what? I've only got 4 minutes left on my timer, and I have a couple of Codex entries to read, so I'm going to end off right here. In the next episode, again, more exposition with James, I presume. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.